This is Umar for BoxNation. We're at Ipswich or Hipswich.
I can't pronounce it switch. Probably because I say hip switch since I remembered it.
Okay. Jarrell, I'm a little bit disappointed. I was hearing rumours you might be coming in a Norwich top, but
I think they still got in the back. Team yellow and green all day. We outside from Brooklyn to Norwich. We're gonna bring the pain. Let's get it.
I mean, that is a bit Floyd style. He rocked up to Ricky Hatton's presser in a United top. Ricky
Yeah.
Hatton's a Man City fan, so
Yeah.
just using that
Yeah, we're
a
gonna get
template.
it. We're gonna get it. We're definitely gonna get it. We're gonna get it.
Okay. Well, it's fitting I've got the guy from the stomping ground behind me because Fabio spoke to them on the weekend in Manchester and he said, if you want to have a scrap now, we can do it.
Trust me, Fabio don't want that kind of smoke. If we gonna see, we gonna see if you really want that kind of work. Cause you know me, I'm always down for a scrap 24/7. But people talk shit on cameras, and last night I didn't even listen to his diss record of me. And in America, when you make a diss record of somebody, that's actually like a death threat. So yeah, he's definitely starting to wake the animal up a little bit about it. I'm gonna ask him about it, and let's see what he says when we face to face.
If he does stick it on you at the presser today, how's it going to go down?
So you see big guys behind you, the security guards. Those are my boys. No one can stop me if I want to get to you.
Not even Brendan.
No one can stop me. Mark my word when I tell you this. If I want to get to Fabio, no one will stop me.
Okay. What's going to trigger that?
Push my buttons. It's not even. How can I say? There's certain people that excite me just the minute I hear their name. This is another fight. Like, he doesn't excite me at all yet. I'm gonna go to camp and train for him, and I'm gonna kill him. But that fire in my stomach, it's not there. I'm not gonna fake it. It's not there. It's not there yet. Meaning like, or the press conference here, like, there's some names like if it's Dylan White or AJ, like you got that stomach, like, yeah, I'm ready. What I mean? Him is like, who the fuck is he? I'm doing him a favor coming out here. So he pushes my buttons though. I won't fuck him up.
So when I spoke to you in Manchester, you were very adamant that you don't rate him at all, one bit.
At all. Who is he? He was a gym fighter. He made some pretty good wins as a pro now against people I never heard of, other than David Adelaide and Frazier. There's only 2 wins he got. He went to draw with Frazier, and then that's really about it. Everybody knows the big baby. They know what I bring to the table. So
Do you not give him credit for the Fraser Clark rematch, the way he dispatched of him?
yeah, I do give him some credit. You know what I mean? But Fraser Clark was a top British fighter. You know what I mean? I fought world-class fighters, championship level. I fought other people's backyard. It's a lot different when you fight in your hometown and you got the fans, cheering for you. When you go in somebody's backyard and not cheering for you, it wakes up a different animal in you. He hasn't gone through what I went through. You know what I mean? You talking about Ipswich is the trenches. Ain't no fucking trenches out here. Like, I'm from the trenches. I'm from the fucking dirty. I'm from the ground up. So different mentality, different way we gonna train, different way we think, different way we eat, different way we shag. Just 2 different kind of human beings. You get? You know what I mean?
Okay, moving on from that. This occasion, everything here is just built for him, right? So the plan is just to ruin it and break a lot of hearts here.
100%. 100%. I love breaking hearts. I'm talking about girl that. But on top of that, yeah, man, I ruined a lot of plans for a lot of people, bro. So we gonna keep doing. Keep going forward, keep training, keep moving, keep punching.
What did you think, I don't know if you've watched it, of the first Fraser Clark fight where it was a complete scrap of war? If that situation occurs again with you, how does that
He's
unfold?
gonna get knocked out. He's not gonna be able to keep up with my accumulation of punches, my attacks, my diversity. I'm mean. I'm way meaner than Fraser Clark. Way meaner. People tell me Fraser Clark's a big pussy, and he win a draw. I was like, damn, he's a pussy and he win a draw. So you get to bring a killer like me, it's gonna be a totally different story.
Okay. So your prediction is a mid-round knockout or?
I'm definitely not gonna fuck out. We're not even the judges. Clearly, you see what happened when I leave the judges. I fought in Saudi Arabia, but it was a British Board of Boxing, which is British. Frank Warren, promoter British, judges British, referee British, and I'm fighting a British fighter. I was winning the fight. Of course, I got tired. But 10 seconds on the clock, Dubois didn't stop me. He ain't beat me. I beat myself. Then I fight Andy Ruiz in his hometown. With 2 judges from California. I win the fight. You see how that went. So trust me, I'm amped. It's not going to fucking judges.
You have got history with British fighters, and what I mean by that is obviously the Dubois fight. You're fighting Wardley here. The Joshua fight didn't happen. The Chisora fight didn't happen. I mean, that was the one you were gunning for, right?
Yeah,
Derek
yeah.
Chisora. That's why you wanted to come here.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. But like I said, people don't understand the heartache and pain that goes on behind closed doors. There's so much nonsense. Even there's nonsense with this fight. Like the contract's not officially signed yet, and there's still things we got to work out. You know what I mean? But I still come here. I do my job. I do the presser. But like I said, the British fans are some of the greatest boxing fans on the planet. But unfortunately, it makes you a lot gullible as well too, because I believe a lot of the nonsense that come out of these promoters and managers' mouth before y'all do your own homework. And sometimes us as fighters, we just want to fight. We don't really diverge too much in the media shit. We just kind of whatever it is, what it is.
So during the Chisora thing, straight after, what was going on in your head?
I was dealing with a promoter by the name of Dimitri Slita, very well known in America. He's a fucking piece of shit. He's a bag of fucking dirt. He's a fucking cockroach and needs to be exterminated. That's what he is. And he's fucked up a lot of fighters' careers. And it's been a non-stop push and pull to get away from this guy. And he's a fucking cunt, plain and simple. You know what I mean? But that's pretty much behind us now at this point. But it's still some things that we got to finish up with him legally. But yeah, he's the reason why the whole thing. And I saw, sometimes promoters get a bad rep, and I wasn't a huge fan of Frank Warren, but I've begun to kind of like him. He's been a straight shooter so far. And on top of that, when we tried to make the deal for the Chisora fight, he gave us a number. I was happily accept that number at the time, but then I had there's a stipulation in my contract called first and last, and I had to tell Slita about my first and last. And instead of Slita being a man and being a man of his word and honor the contract, he went behind my back to try to make a deal with Frank Warren. And Frank Warren said, "Go kick the fucking door, kiss my ass. Like, we're not doing a deal with you." So I do pick my hat up for Frank Warren. He stood on business and he did the right thing. And but we're here now.
We are indeed. Just before we close off, I do want to get your thoughts on what we saw on the weekend. You were there ringside. There was a lot of heavyweights there. Firstly, Joyce Hergovich. Some people are calling for Joe to retire.
I heard that, yeah.
What do you think?
It's hard to tell another man when to retire. I do feel if he doesn't change something in his camp, maybe take 2 easier fights and see where he goes from there. But he definitely ate way too many shots than he was supposed to. I know Hergovich had a short camp. I think if Hergovich had a full camp, it would have been a lot more differently. I think Hergovich might have got the stoppage. But Joyce definitely took a beating. Same thing with Hergovich too. Hergovich took some really hard shots. You know what I mean, and elaborate on the gloves as well too. I've been hearing a lot about them fly gloves, and the damage within the first 2 rounds was weird. You know what I mean? I was like cut open, bruised up, banged up really quick. So, it's hard to say. You know what I mean? But I definitely feel that Joyce definitely needs to get checked out, make sure he's healthy, and for another battle if he proceeds to want to go forward.
Phillips with Frank now. If you were to spoil the party here at Portman Road, would you take the Philip Hergovich fight?
Philip is one of my boys too.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, we train together, we spar together. I feel like it would have to be money on the table and for a title shot. There's a lot of other guys that I don't like that I can fight right now.
Fair enough.
Sometimes you need a few heavyweight friends that you can spar with. Herkovich is one of them now. The Joseph Parker, Bacoli. That's really about it. Other guys, they've added younger guys. But I think everybody else is like fair game. You know what I mean? So a lot of other guys we can go to.
You brought up Adelaide there, just quickly. The referee called break twice. There was a shot from Jamie after the first break, but it was a tap. I've seen that a lot with in sparring and in fights. And then obviously the referee hasn't intervened, and Adelaide's just taken the shot. What did you think about it?
First of all, his name is Jamie, right?
Jamie TKV,
got a ton of warnings for grabbing and wrestling and hitting after the break, and the referee telling him stop. And Adelaide did what he did. You know what I mean? Adelaide got the better shot off. It was break, but protect yourself at all times. And that's the number 1 rule in boxing. Protect yourself at all times, Adelaide did what he had to do to get the job done. Sometimes you got to fight dirty. Like, Jamie was fighting dirty, let's be honest. And I was telling Adelaide, I'm like, bro, you got to get mean, bro. You got to fight dirty, man. You got to go in and do what you got to handle business. And that's what he did.
Jarrell, Big Baby Miller, appreciate your time. Next time I see you, we'll be in Ipswich.
Ipswich. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Queensbury, exclusively on DAZN.